Hi, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Kelly Made, where I make things because I am Kelly, and I post about how much of the massive yarn hoard I have in my house I have used up for the week. My goal is to have net use more than I purchase, and I don't know, we might not be there this week. So here I am with this week's update. I hope you've had a lovely week. I am looking like a hot mess. I'm not really sure what's going on, but regardless, it is what it is. This week I used, I believe, 5 skeins. So let me just double check because I keep all my wrappers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I used 5 skeins. I made some more work on my temperature blanket. I didn't get very far, and full disclosure, I know I had yarn for the 65 to 70 degree range. It's the palest of the 3 shades of green that I have. And earlier this year, because citrine was discontinued in the line by Knit Picks, I found a really close match by Lily Sugar and Cream. Well, of course, now that's discontinued. So I've spent the last 2 days trying to find something close, and I ordered it from Amazon, but it will be here shortly, and I will discover if I made a big mistake or if it actually works. So I do have that coming. But I also, well, let's talk about what I used first. So made progress on my temperature blanket. I am now up to September. I have 3 stitches left for September 21st. And then I am out of that. And I did contemplate splitting the difference, like taking 66 and 67 and using one color, and 68, 69, 70 and using another. But it's September, and September and October, we have a lot of days in that degree range. And so I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to replace it and get another one. So another thing I did is I made a grand total of 25 hair scrunchies. One of the girls that has a small daughter who likes to wear them to school realized she didn't have blue. So I showed her the robin's egg and the ocean mist that I have posted on my Etsy site. But then I looked in. If you look a couple weeks ago, I showed I had 50 skeins of yarn that had not been used yet. Does anybody else get annoyed by like high neck t-shirts? I really want like something a little bit lower. Anyway, totally off tangent. I looked, and one of the ones I had was sapphire blue. Oh wow, that like really turns blue in the ring light. Not quite that blue in person. Let's see if changing the light makes a difference. Where's the button? That just makes it dark. That just makes it yellow. It's probably closer, but that's, I found the blue. So that made, excuse me, 16 in that sapphire blue color, and those are up on the website. Big bag full. So those are done and those are ready. And then I stopped by Ollie's, which I don't ever do. I really don't. I think I go like twice a year. But right by the front door, guess what? They had yarn. So Kelly bought yarn this week. Kelly bought 10 skeins of yarn this week. She shouldn't have, but she did. It's right here. I've used one of them. One of them was, again, blue, and I was able to make blue scrunchies, but they have silver running through it. So it was like sparkly blue, and it was pretty, and I liked it. But she didn't like it. She wanted the robin's egg, which is fine. They also had pink that had, is it plain pink? I think it's plain pink. I was thinking it was pink sparkle, but it is not. Plain, excuse me, plain hot pink. I got one of those. I got 2 of the sparkle blue. I got 2 black, because I don't have any plain black. I have black and white. And then they had Big Twist Plush, which, you know, their version of Bernat Blanket. I realized that a lot of the blanket yarn I have is either girls or gender neutral. And that's because the people who procreate in my office keep having girls, which is fine. But I wanted to have on hand something that was boy. So I got the blue. And I got 4 skeins of this because they were $5 each, and they're normally like more than double that in my area. So I don't go to Ollie's but once a year. I had to add 10 skeins this week. I'm very sorry, but it is what it is. That's the total that I have. So I used 5. I bought 10, so that's a net of 5 for the week. But I need a small project, like a handheld project. I can't take my temperature blanket with me. I could always take scrunchies with me. That's not a problem. But I finished the shamrock garland, handed it out at the group meeting on Friday, and I'm done. I'm done with garland until we get to Christmas. which will probably start in June, but you know, one project at a time. I did get a couple baby blankets listed because I had them blocking. And then I have this one that I made in like a chevron purple, and it's just a variegated yarn, and I love it, and it's so soft, and it's so comfortable. And then when I was taking pictures for it for the website, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to try and hold it up so you can. Right here, see how all of a sudden it gets big right there, like right in the middle? It's like I added a couple stitches to it, and I didn't realize I did that. So I don't feel like I can sell this, but there's a girl in my office that has a baby that is, oh my gosh, she'll be 4 months old this week. And I think I might just give it to her. Cause you know, I can't sell it. And God forbid, nobody is like pregnant at the moment. And I wouldn't want to give this to somebody new. It was a new pattern for me. It's basically a chevron moss stitch, but I loved it. And I might make it again because I do have more of this yarn. So I think I might make it again. But give this one away. I have two smaller blankets. They're like 19 inches square, just like little loveys. One of them, they were just balls of yarn that I found. One of them I loved. It was like gray with some variegated color in it. Just very unusual. And I don't know where I got it. I've had it for forever, but now it's used. And that's the whole point of using up the stash, right? So that's used. I spent all day making scrunchies yesterday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's a lot of scrunchies. Like 25 in a weekend is a lot. And I don't really want to make any more right now. I could. Certainly a small project I can take with me, no question. But I just kind of don't want to. So I need something small. I need to look and see what unfinished projects I have, because I know I have many. There's one using that same purple variegated yarn, but that's a Tunisian stitch, and I have to count when I use that. So I typically take that when I have pedicures and stuff. I think I have a prayer shawl and a regular shawl. Oh, maybe I'll take my purple shawl. Maybe I'll work on that this week. It's very small crochet, and so that's not what I want to say. It's very delicate. It's a very small needle. It's not what I typically use. I typically use anywhere from a 4, 4.5 up. And I think this uses a 3. So it's just a bit smaller than I'm used to, but I don't mind that. And I think that's about it. Plus 10 skeins, but I used 5. So net gain of only 5. And next week, I think maybe it'll be a net gain of 2. So hopefully I can zero that out with the work that I do. I do have, God help me, another family funeral on Tuesday. It is March 1st. Today is March 1st. Funeral is March 3rd. That will be my 5th funeral for the year. We made it through all of 2025 without having one, and now I've had 5 in the first 60 days of the year. But she was 94. She had a good life. She was a wonderful woman. She was kind of the, what's the word I want to use? She was the reigning matriarch of my paternal side. And, you know, she was great. I loved her dearly. She lived about an hour and a half from me, and she and my grandmother were always very, very close. And, you know, I don't want to say I can't wait to see family, because it's a horrible reason to see family. But when your family is as big as mine, funerals are really the only time you get together, especially when they're all that age. Technically, she was my great aunt, but my father's aunts and uncles, I mean, he had an uncle that was 6 weeks older than him. So, you know, there's like 25, 30 years in the aunt-uncle range, and my father being an only child. And oddly enough, several of those aunts and uncles had no children. So I had like 10 cents of grandparents growing up. But that's not a bad thing. I never thought it was weird that I didn't mind funerals. I mean, an open casket still kind of creeps me out, but I've been going to funerals my whole life because I have such a large extended family. And for some of the family, it's the only time I ever see them. So it was always more of a fun reunion, right? And then when I got to college, people were like, oh, I've only been to one funeral in my life. I'm like, really? I go to like 3 a year. So maybe that's odd. Maybe you think that's funny. I think we need a better reason to see each other as family. But at the same time, at least I'm seeing family, right? Just hoping the weather holds off and I can actually make it up the mountain for the ceremony. But yeah, she was a good woman. She had a wonderful life. She always made me laugh, and she was the sweetest soul I'd ever known. So Didn't mean to get morbid and morose on you. Happy Sunday. I hope you use up plenty of your yarn this week. I hope you have a lovely first week of March. Spring is coming. Hopefully that means winter is on its way out. And I will see you next week. Thank you.